You're listening to Biz-Souls, the business podcast with an edge, hosted by me, Rona Lewis, and Jeffrey Hansler. Tune in for perspectives and discoveries about the changing world of business. It's time to connect to the heart, soul, and humor of how business gets done. Heidi-ho, kids, and welcome to Biz-Souls. I'm Rona Lewis.
I'm Jeffrey Hansler, and we get to the heart and soul of business and the people that make it happen.
Yes, and today we have Albert, is it Bramante?
Yes.
Yes, I got it right. I'm so excited. All right.
Holy mackerel,
did I
we
go
just peeked out. Wow.
Now that nobody has any ears left. Okay, so Albert helps performers, educators, and creators unlock their potential by blending psychology, performance strategy, and AI to fuel unstoppable momentum. With 20 plus years at the crossroads of entertainment and higher education, he's coached actors to land life-changing roles, mentored students to become high-performing professionals, and developed systems that help people break through fear, imposter syndrome, and self-sabotage. As CEO of Bramante Artists, he represents a diverse talent roster working across Broadway, film, television, commercials, and print. He doesn't just book roles, he builds careers using psychological insights and industry strategy. He helps talent develop long-term, purpose-driven success. So you don't just match people, you get them to where they need to be, yes?
Absolutely. And I think that's so important nowadays.
Excellent.
To mix both together.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, ask your question.
So Albert, what did you want to be when you grew up? You know, what was childhood dreams?
The childhood dream at that time when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor. And I remember making a promise to my grandmother that I would be a doctor. And that was, something that that stood with me, even after our passing. I was like, I'm going to live up to my promise. However, I don't want to do medical school. I don't really do heavy science or math. So that was kind of out of the question.
Right.
But I found myself in high school being very interested in about the brain. I was a bookworm. I read a lot of books on science and behavior and the brain, and I became so enthralled with studying the brain and behavior. So I was like, I'm going to major in psychology, and I'll get a PhD, and therefore I'll somewhat live up to that promise that I made my grandmother, which is I'm going to become a doctor.
Yes.
And so that's what I did. And I even floated for a while, and this is a laughable moment, but there was a moment where I had a culinary arts interest.
Ah.
So even when I was kind of like early part of my high school, before I literally transitioned to psychology, I was like, I'm going to be a chef. And that quickly didn't last. So,
hey, I did go to cooking school, so don't
That's
diss on that.
Oh no, I have complete respect for that. No, cooks aren't more.
Yeah.
For me, it was just I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
So,
too funny.
So you majored in psychology, and what was the transition into talent agency?
So I always had an interest in, creative arts. So when I was in high school, I was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, including the drama club.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in there for 3 years. And then also in college, I took, a few electives in theater and acting. And I liked it. It was kind of like a playful, outlet for me. But at still this time, I was really determined on just to be a clinical psychologist. That was like my one-track goal. And as I was saying before we recorded, when I was in grad school, one of my guilty pleasures, this is back when talk shows were back in their day. I used to watch talk shows when I was not watching class. Okay. And one of the shows I used to watch was Sally Jesse Raphael. Yeah. The lady with the big orange glass.
Yeah.
Red glass.
Yeah, I remember her.
So I happened to one day be looking at her website, and there was a button that says get in touch with the team. And the person I was always watching would be a very charismatic woman who's the aftercare specialist on the show. She was very dramatic but very effective. And I emailed her department on the show. I said, I'd love to help out. I'm going for a master's in psychology. I kind of figured there'd be a 99.9% chance I'm not going to hear it again.
Not gonna
Right.
happen, right? Yeah.
Not going to happen. Running a talk show, I'm sure they get hundreds of requests like
Yeah.
this. So I dismissed it. And then one day I was getting ready to go to class, and I opened up my email in response to your, email. It was a subject. I didn't recognize
Right.
the email. So I opened it up, and it was from this woman. She's like, where are you located? I'm looking for an intern for the spring.
Wow.
Okay, let me see. And I talked to her, and a little before you know it, I was interning at Salages the Raphael.
Nice.
So it ended, unfortunately, that was right around the last year of the show. So it got canceled soon after that.
Mhm.
But I kept in contact with this person who I was working under, and she, right after 9/11, she had started a charity in New York. It's called Operation Healing America, and it was designed to work with people that were affected and displaced with after 9/11, including rescue workers, police, firemen,
Right.
EMS. And so, she was an actress herself, and so we started getting together. It was a group of actors as well as her, and
Mhm.
they, I'm Italian, they were Italian, so we were all like they're like, oh, Albert, you should get into acting. You have a great face for this. You have a great look. Okay. And now I did have some interest in it because I did,
Right.
college and high school. Didn't really consider it as a career. So let me give it a shot. So I got headshots and all that stuff. But I realized it wasn't for me. I really didn't enjoy it professionally.
Mhm.
It was more of a hobby for me. But I loved being on set with actors. And I loved working with actors to a point where even when I was acting, I'd go on set, I'd meet these actors, and I would start finding casting notices for them and be like, "Hey, you should submit for that. You should submit for that." And then a couple of them said to me, "Hey, I wish you could be my agent." And at that time, the wheels were starting to turn.
Yeah.
Right.
But I realized soon as I didn't want to do acting, I was like, how do I keep myself immersed in this world,
Right.
but not being an actor? So I volunteered at film festivals where I put together panels for actors. I coordinate the Q&A sessions after a film, which would include a lot of times the filmmaker and the actors. So I was interacting a lot with actors and filmmakers during this time, and I enjoyed it immensely. And the filmmakers started asking me, hey, can you cast my film? Can you help me find some actors for my next project,
Right.
and I did that, and I was being successful at it. So, and every time I would do this, I would acquire like more actors in my database. And that's what I had a database at that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to open up my own. I'm going to manage them. I'm going to represent these actors.
It's great.
So 2004, I started my first company, and right around this time, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if my family was entirely thrilled that I went from wanting to be a clinical psychologist to now being a talent agent. I
Right.
don't know.
But they're so
That
close.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
they are so
Of
close.
course.
Well, both of them
Uh,
work. Both of them involve a lot of crazy people.
That's right. Indeed.
So,
Indeed. That's
yeah.
right.
It works.
Uh,
It works.
so I then said, I'm going to go back for my PhD. I'm halfway there already. I already have my master's.
Uh-huh.
So I might as well just and fulfill the promise to myself, my grandma. I don't really just finish it and get it over with.
Right.
And so I started a PhD program. I was juggling three things. I was very busy. I
It's a
was
lot.
teaching. I was teaching part time. I was
Right.
running the company and starting my
So,
PhD.
Albert, what was your PhD? What did you focus on for your PhD?
Psychology.
Which
Well,
makes sense.
which part of psychology? Abnormal psych?
So I
Behavior.
started off with clinical,
Okay.
and then I switched more to educational psych because
Okay.
there were some things that I started to disagree with on the clinical side and things that weren't resonating with it, plus the time commitment.
Why the
Because
amount
right
of
around the
that
time,
was it the amount of drugs they they
Hey.
prescribe? Is that what you
that was
disagreed
part
with?
of it too. That was part of it too. And also, negatively labeling people was something I really didn't sit well with me. Because it was setting up a stigma. The and
Right.
and that would went with that for life, and people started identifying themselves as their diagnosis, like I am
Yeah,
bipolar.
Right.
people wear it like a badge.
Right.
They like lean
And,
into the
and
bad things.
Right. Like
exactly, and or
Okay.
they're uncomfortable about actually getting even better because that's their
Yeah.
identity now
Right.
is going to be uprooted. So
Well, I think labeling's okay. I mean, she's a Karen, and
Oh,
I
me?
often refer
I
to
am
people.
not a
No,
Karen.
I often refer to people. She's a Rona, and then we get, oh, you're
Okay.
just a Rona.
Oh, good.
It's okay.
All right.
yeah,
Anyway, we digress. Finish
yeah.
your story.
Well, yeah, I feel after 2020, I kind of started feeling bad about people who were named Karen.
Right. Hey,
Yeah,
because everyone said Miss Rona for the coronavirus. This was not fun.
yeah,
This was not fun at
no,
all for me. Anyway, finish your
yeah.
story.
The Aussies
So
called it. The Aussies called it Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rona.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got the
Well,
Rona.
even here, people were calling it the Rona
Yep.
Right.
virus. Which is not
So
not
so
fun for anybody named
that's right. Be
Rona.
nice to me, or I will become a plague.
Yeah,
That's basically it.
that's a good comeback. There you
That's
go.
right.
Um,
Okay.
so
So 2020
yeah,
comes.
well, even before 20, I received my PhD in psychology 2015.
Congratulations.
Now, I did my dissertation on self-defeating behavior in performing artists. Thank you, by the
Oh,
way. So because I was noticing a problem in self-sabotage, which is
sure.
became the root of my book. The dissertation was like a foundation for my book
Okay.
And what's the book called,
because
Albert? What's the book
it's
called?
called Rise Above the Script,
Okay.
Confronting Self-Doubt
Oh,
and Mastering Self-Sabotage for Performing Artists.
And you got into the Sabbath. So okay? Were you a media mogul then, first, or were you writing the book first on sabotage, or did you combine them? They come on.
I combined the two. I combined the book before I started,
Okay.
going on podcast
Okay.
and all of that. What I was noticing when I was first opening up my company was so many actors were self-sabotaging.
mm-hmm.
And even students that I was teaching were self-sabotaging. What I mean by that, getting in their own way,
Yeah.
doing behaviors and actions that were actually hurting their chances for success.
Well, success
And
can be scary.
it is. And so that kind of led me down a rabbit hole when I was doing my dissertation on fear, fear of success, fear of failure, imposter syndrome. And so that kind of like where I felt like the dissertation was kind of like the combination of both my worlds
Yeah.
coming
Well,
together.
and all of those factors work for anybody who's in business trying to make a living. Entrepreneurs and basically actors are entrepreneurs, unless they have a contract with a studio, which I don't even know if they have those anymore.
Yeah, they really don't anymore because
Yeah.
it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But you are right. Actors are CEOs of their company.
Yeah. So, all right. So talk to us about what you work on them. Fear of success, language and words.
I have
What,
a
did you
tech
have a
question.
question?
I have a tech question first, just real quick. So, do you have to be a lawyer to be a talent agent?
No,
You don't
no.
have to be a
No.
lawyer. You just have
What?
to have
You,
legal
you have to
team
have
be-
a
legal
license or
team.
something, or a legal. Well, you have to work with a legal team for contracts, right?
I do consult. I do have a lawyer, and also some of my clients have lawyers, so we go through that beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And do
But
you?
you need to be a licensed employment agent first
I see.
Okay.
before you can become an agent. So I
And,
had to go through that. I had to go through the state of New York to become a licensed employment agent
Got it.
and
before I can call myself a talent agent.
and do you have to join the guild?
Any kind of
SAG,
guild, SAG, or
Well, we don't join necessarily because that's for actors,
right,
but we become affiliated. Well, we call that franchise.
right.
So I'm franchised by SAG-AFTRA and
Okay.
Equity. So we don't have to be, but it's good. It's a good practice to be.
So do you work with union and non-union, or mostly union?
Yes, both.
Yeah. I'm assuming you don't do a lot in Florida since that's a right to work state. It's a pain in the
Right.
butt.
The Southeast, so Atlanta, Florida, and Louisiana. On one hand, it's a lot, somewhat easier for an actor to break in to
Right.
those shows and films that are in that area because, again, you can be non-union.
Right, and you get
Where
taxed.
it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit challenging when you're in New York and LA. You don't have many credits.
Right.
So a lot of actors I know start out in Atlanta because they can get build up some credits.
Right. That's
Right.
how I got my SAG card. I got my SAG card many years ago doing a commercial in Florida, and they Taft Hartley'd me. So
Oh,
Hmm.
that's good. So, do you see, and just real quick on this subject, do you see a rise in non-union actors because of all the independence and how the whole industry and the studio
that's a good
system is
question.
going away?
On the commercial side, yes. Unfortunately, this is different from when I first started. There were a lot more union commercials when I started. Especially those national commercials. I'm talking to the point where you could literally work one or two of those and then be, set for the whole year.
Right. Right.
Where you could just live off the residuals. Those commercials are still there, but we're not as much anymore.
Yeah.
I'd say, since 2012, most of them started going more non-union. So it's actually 80% non-union commercials, so like maybe
Wow.
10 or 20
It must
percent
be.
union.
How do they make a living? You know.
Well, it's challenging, and
Yeah.
that's why a lot of contract negotiations have been trying to fight to get more union. But even so, it's going to be a much cheaper than it was on the part of the national commercial.
Right.
And
Right. Okay. So, well, I want to go back to the other things that we were talking about, the concepts, the language and words, and you mentioned earlier resilience and grit. Tell us more about what you mean by that and how it helps actors.
well, the important thing is that there's going to be a lot of no's as an actor. No
Hmm.
matter how talented they are, they're going to get more no's than they're going to get yeses.
True.
And that's going to take, in order to kind of withstand that, you're going to need a little bit of resiliency to
Sure.
bounce back and to move forward. So, and that's what kind of like grit is kind of related to that, just the determination and just keep moving forward. Because it may take a while. It may take, 50 to 100, 150 auditions before you land a role.
Right. Right. Yeah. I
And
understand that.
a lot of people, a lot of actors, especially younger actors, get a little discouraged after like maybe the first 5 or 10 auditions they don't book.
Hmm.
And my way, I look at that like this is just the beginning.
Right. This is practice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Um, I've known of some actors. I don't remember their names, but like a prominent Broadway actor said he went through 500 auditions before he landed his first role.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Most people I
go
I
ahead.
know
Sorry.
wouldn't last that long.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I heard something about Anthony Hopkins that way. He went through a lot of auditions for and just
Oh, yeah.
didn't hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the I know people who have done what my there was a group of us when I lived in Florida who were union actors, and and we did stage and things like that, and it was such a small group of us because there's not a lot of really good talent in Boca Raton
Yeah.
and around there, to be honest. Though. I'm going to get cards and letters for that, but it was kind of true. So everybody knew each other, and we used to have um, agents and acting coaches come and give us lessons and weekend things, and it was really interesting. Um, you know the the difference in the talent and how they taught it. So
So, Albert, really quickly, what are some of your best qualities as an agent then? And then what do you bring to the table that they're not going to find somewhere
that's a great
else?
question.
I think it's my background in psychology and kind of coaching in a sense and understanding it because a lot of times certain behaviors or quirks of actors might be off-putting for certain agents because if they're not familiar with the background.
Mm,
So for me, I have a little more patience. Plus, I can kind of be the one that can talk you through a hard time. If an actor's having a hard moment.
you're like their Jewish mother. It's
Yeah, you could
okay.
say
Have
that.
some chicken soup. You'll feel better.
Or the Italian one. I
The
grew up
Italian,
thinking
The
well,
about
Italian
yeah.
that.
mother,
I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah.
say Jews and
Yeah.
Italians very similar. Just the cuisine is
Oh, we
different.
are. We
Well,
are very similar.
right,
To
and
that.
Italian mothers aren't into as much guilt.
I don't know. Are they?
Yeah, we they can be. Trust
Yeah.
me. I
Yeah. It's okay. I'll sit in the dark. Anyway, so tell us how people can get in touch with you and tell us the name of your book and where they can buy it.
Sure. The name of the book is called Rise Above the Script: Confronting Self-Doubt and Mastering Self-Sabotage for Performing Artists. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, and audiobook. So I have an audiobook format.
Nice. Okay. And if people want to get in touch with you, email or website?
You can go to my website, albertbramante.com, or you can also find me on LinkedIn under Albert Bramante. I'm always posting content there, and I'm easily accessible through that
Fantastic.
network.
Is there any particular for your agent business? Is there any particular? Do you seek people out, or do they seek you out?
Both. It's kind of a combination of both. I mean, on our website, bramanteartist.com, if anybody's an actor here, bramanteartist.com has a form where people can submit for representation. They'll put their profiles and all their information on, and then it goes through our agency mailbox. The other way we do it is through talent referrals. Like a lot of times our clients will refer actors.
Right.
Or we'll go to showcases. That hasn't been often lately, but that used to be in the past. I'd go to a lot of graduating showcases and acting schools and programs would put on their in-person showcases in the middle, like around May during graduation time. And we'd go to there and they'd get a lot of people that way. And then, so it's referrals too, like referrals from other industry people, acting coaches will sometimes refer their clients to me.
Oh, that's nice. And of course, after our podcast, you'll be offering us contracts as as MCs and speakers.
There you go.
Oh, that's right.
Win-win.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Anyway, so any last questions or?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I
I
no,
think
this is great.
Yeah,
and
so it's
congratulations
really
on
interesting.
everything.
Thank you.
And that is one more question. So
You lied to me.
Yes, I did. Do people seek you out for the coaching, completely separate from the acting?
They can, but mainly it's the actors for the agent stuff. I mean, so other people may contact me and say, hey, I'm going through this or that. Because also on my website, I also have recordings available, like audios available for hypnotic meditations for 15. They're 15 to 17 minutes each.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're for purchase, and they have for everything from anxiety to public speaking, leadership, athletic performance. So you can, a lot of people utilize those.
Nice.
Right. And do you do audio? Voiceover, like Robin Williams when he was in.
I do a lot on the commercial side of things.
Yeah.
On the commercial voiceover, it's a commercial voiceover. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good.
All right. Well, thank you. This was so fabulous.
Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, of course. You are our first talent agent, and hypnotist, PhD, all around good guy.
We didn't even get into hypnosis yet. That'll be
yeah,
another subject.
You'll come back and talk to us about hypnosis
I'd
and
love
what
to.
that does for people.
I would love to, because I think it works a lot well for the elite business entrepreneurs as well, just to raise their peak performance.
From curling up in the corner and putting our thumb in our mouth.
Yeah.
You have a problem with that?
I do. It's enjoyable. Anyway, all right. That is.
Well, thank you both.
Oh, my
Albert,
pleasure.
thank you so much, and wonderful, and wishing you continued success. And
yes, absolutely.
Hey, seriously, maybe we can be clients. So.
There. Not that he's pushy or anything. All right. That is it for us. I am Rona Lewis.
I'm Jeffrey Hansler.
And this has been Biz-Souls. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Biz-Souls podcast with your hosts, Rona Lewis and Jeffrey Hansler. Did you have fun? Subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Talk to you next week.